Hey everyone, my name is Artindi and Lara Croft should be dead. Now I'm going to explain why she should be dead first and then why this might be important to know for game design reasons as well as for the benefit of gamers, game reviewers, and game developers alike. First though, I've only ever played one Tomb Raider, and it is the first in the reboot series that came out about 7 years ago, and I only played it because it was free on Steam a few months back, so yeah, I'm kinda cheap like that. There will be small spoilers, but like I said, it came out 7 years ago, so not sure why anyone's going to care at this point. But you've been warned. Anyway, let's get into why Lara should be dead. The game starts off with Lara on a sinking ship, and she seems to be bad at holding her breath. She jumps from half of the doomed ship to the other half because apparently that half is safer. She gets her arm dislocated, sucks at holding her breath again, and washes ashore on the beach apart from the rest of the crew. Then she gets knocked out by some rando from the island who ties her up and hangs her upside down. In order to get out of her situation, she swings until she lights herself on fire, burning away the bindings. So far everything is fine and dandy. All these things that have happened can be excused in one way or another. She obviously didn't drown, and maybe the bonk on the head wasn't hard enough to do anything more than knock her out. And the bindings broke before she was really burned that bad. But what's not excusable is what happens next. This is a mortal wound. Without medical attention soon after, Lara will die. If you doubt me, keep watching, I'll prove it to you. This is construction rebar used to strengthen concrete or other similar masonry structures. The most common sizes used are at least half an inch thick, and just eyeballing it, that seems to be about accurate. Even if we went one size smaller, that would still be thicker than most of the bullets that are fired from the guns you see later in the game. Now, I'm no doctor, but just using common knowledge of internal organ locations, this puncture could have pierced the stomach, left kidney, spleen, and both large and small intestines. The rebar definitely ripped through muscles on the back and front, the ones you need to climb, run, jump, or even just for normal standing. There would be massive amounts of blood loss both externally and internally. Keep in mind, 40% blood loss means extreme traumatic reactions from your body, including death, and even half that can cause you to be completely dysfunctional. This wound is indeed fatal at worst and crippling at best, and without hardcore medical attention very soon after, it would most definitely kill Lara Croft. So at this point in the game, I was thinking there was going to be another cutscene after Lara gets out of the cave, and it would show that she had to spend the next few weeks recovering from becoming a shish kebab, either in a hospital or I guess at least somewhere safe on the island. But no, she just continues on her way, diving right into the rest of the adventure. She doesn't get any definitive treatment for her wound till 3 days later. Some might think that she got it here when she helped Brynjolf
Now go and make us some coin, lass.
with his wolf bite, but even then that was 2 days in, and if she really had taken care of it then, I don't know why she would need to do this a day later. Cauterizing is something you do as a last resort because it often does more harm than good by putting you into shock and making you more susceptible to infection. Speaking of infection, she walks around in this. Yeah, that's a dead animal right there, with her open wounds right before she cauterizes herself. On top of that, these are some of the things she's doing within the first 3 days on the island. A lot of these things are passable, but not when you take into consideration that she has a half-inch wide hole passing through her abdomen. So yeah, she should be dead. But now let me explain why this might be important to think about. For most games and movies, to some extent you need to suspend disbelief. This means you have to understand that some things are going to happen in the story or mechanics that could never happen in real life. I mean, that is the point of playing video games, I think. Escapism. The chance to do or be something that you could not do or be in real life. However, a double jump from a pixelated character like in Celeste is not going to faze anyone. It's easy to look past how unrealistically high she can jump because of the style of that game. Because the Tomb Raider reboots were trying to have realistic physics and character movement and true-to-life scenery and environments, the rules that would dictate how things function in that world become very indistinguishable from real-life rules. So this becomes an immersion-breaking event. If you are making a game and you wish to avoid immersion-breaking things, you might want to think about what kind of interactability can be added or taken away from your games to keep focus on the gameplay. For example, in Factorio, the crafting factory building game, you are playing as this little dude that seems to have limitless energy and never needs to sleep. He just full sprints all the time, non-stop. However, you never really think about this because there are no game mechanics to even point it out, which is smart because then the focus remains on building a factory. But suppose the game developers for Factorio just decided that if you didn't eat once a day, then you would die and lose the game. If this was the case, then we would have to ask, why does he need to eat but not sleep? And how does this guy never get tired? Why can he carry so much stuff? How is he building things so far away from himself? Why do the numbers on my keyboard have 1 on the bottom, but on my phone it's on the top? All very important questions, but I think this shows us just a little of how complex games can be, and how little decisions can make a big difference. If Lara Croft had simply fallen and landed hard on her butt, without anything besides a bruise or two, you would still have pretty much the same game. And better still, many players wouldn't have that nagging question in the back of their mind, how is she still alive, knowing deep down, Lara Croft should be dead. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you think as well. What are some things that you've seen in games that are just game breaking just because they weren't thought out all the way? Or what are some things that you've seen people not include because it just works better that way? But anyway, thank you so much and have a beautiful day.